the fact that the third time someone was like, I would kill the president. 3 attempts, less than 2 years. To me, it's kind of crazy that... Because no one took a shot at Biden. I'm not saying they should have. And no one took a shot at Obama. That first kid in Butler, of course, we know nothing about him. Joe Kent said that they were investigating it for ties with something outside the United States, which was in their purview. And they were told not to. That dude at the golf course, I mean, he was like, he had the like gun poking out like Elmer Fudd. Think about this kid, think about this 31-year-old, is he doesn't seem that crazy. All of his opinions are stuff we see all of the left-wing politicians and pundits say. The one thing that has gotten a bit mainstreamed, however, is the discussion of Trump. He's a danger to the republic. He's a danger to the country. He has to be stopped pretty much at any cost. Welcome to Loaded Talk. I'm your congressman, the third most popular candidate to ever be. I'm Frank, and along with me, as always...
What's up, planet Earth? I'm Bean.
The Liberty Legume. How you like that?
That's a good one. I like that.
You need a cape next time. All right, so... Here's a crazy... All right, so obviously, one of the biggest things happening right now was over the weekend. Some dude popped off some shots at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Or in the lobby outside of it. But it was evacuated. You know, they made everyone duck for cover. Grabbed JD Vance by the seat of his pants, basically dragged his butt out there. Everyone had to leave. They didn't let him resume. Trump's like, let's keep the show going. They're like, yeah, that's not happening. So they're like, we'll do it again next week or something. So it might be this Saturday. I don't know. But one of the craziest things about it is it's kind of out of the news cycle already. We're going to talk about it a little bit anyway. But the fact that the third time someone was like, I would kill the president. And the third time in a year? Or maybe 2? He hadn't been president a year yet. So Butler was last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's probably right around a year, yeah.
Yeah, because it happened when I was in, wherever that was, Utah, which was summertime. Like July, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Right? Have we finished the year? What month is this? Oh, he has been president a year. It's April. I've totally lost. Okay, so year and a half. Whatever. I don't know when it is right now, Charlie.
That's the point.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Yeah, okay. So it has been a year. So a year and a half, whatever. 2 years ago, 17 years ago, whatever. Either way, 3 attempts. Less than 2 years. One pretty good attempt. One could have been. That dude at the golf course. I mean, he was like, he had the like gun poking out like Elmer Fudd, he could have pulled the trigger. This one was less good, but we'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, to me, it's kind of crazy that because no one took a shot at Biden. I'm not saying they should have. And no one took a shot at Obama, I don't think.
No, I mean, they don't publish all of them.
Well, I'm just saying if someone made it, did it in a way that was very public, I mean, we'd be talking about it. He was the first, half black president. And so, like, yeah. I don't know. Even W. Do you want to go after W?
I mean, unless they were trying to sell the idea that he was so loved that nobody would do it.
Yeah, but I feel like if even there was a half-assed attempt on Obama, they would have milked that thing for, the racism in society. And,
it's true.
They would have, they would have put him on a $100 bill, They've been like, our glorious leader, he's so beautiful and kind, and yet these hateful people on the right, these Republicans are trying to kill him left and right. And I mean, because you could use that all the way to, you can use that for midterms, you can use that for a whole bunch. Speaking of which, we have midterms coming up. So anyway, totally disconnected from that theory. This Democrat fella took a half-assed attempt at the Republican president right before midterms. But yeah, so the crazy thing about this one, you know, that first kid in Butler, of course, we know nothing about him. You know, Joe Kent said that they were investigating it for ties with something outside the United States, which was in their purview. And they were told not to. Like, we got enough. And they said, well, you know, we've got some leads. We just want to track them down. We're not doing anything. They go, nope. FBI is content, domestic, lone gunman, you know, scrub department, attempted scrub of social media. We were told they had no social media whatsoever. And then later on, like Tucker Carlson, these other people go, hey, here's some. You go, that is some. That is more than nothing. And he was in a BlackRock commercial. That's a strange coincidence. You know, he was just a child. I don't know why BlackRock was doing a commercial at the school, but it is odd that they featured a child that later shot the president in the ear.
And he has an IMDb profile.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you go, when you look at it, you go, it's weird that he got up on this roof with a rifle when he was walking around with a rangefinder and a drone. And people are like, hey, look at that guy on that roof with a rifle. And everyone's like, it's all right. We think it's fine. Like, you think that guy's fine? The guy on the roof with the rifle aiming at the president? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So unfortunately, we don't know much about him. And even though he literally shot the president of the United States, the current president of the United States, it doesn't seem to be a priority to solve this mystery. Give a little bit more information. He's just a perpetual lone gunman. No one understands it. So that was number one. Number two, he was a Looney Tune. You know, he's a super Ukraine supporter, but he was one of these, like, I think he went over, didn't he go over there and they were
I heard
like
something about that.
Yeah, like he was like, I want your services. And they were like, we don't want you. And he's like, well, all right, I'll go back and fundraise. And so, I don't know, he was like very avid in his anti-Trumpness, and he was very avid in his pro-Ukraine stuff, and he had a screw loose. Anytime you heard him, like you saw him and everything, you're like, yeah, that guy's got a screw loose. You know, it kind of makes sense. He's just a rabid, kind of crazy liberal, emphasis on crazy. Think about this kid. Think about this, what was his name? Cole Allen, 31-year-old. He doesn't seem that crazy. When they've gone through his Bluesky and his other socials, it's just like, like he donated $25 to Kamala Harris. And of course, right-wing, everybody like, oh, Democrat donor. It's like, that's about what I donated to Vivek Ramaswamy so I could get the koozies. He had the koozies that said rebel scum on them. I'm like, well, I kind of want those. So, now I'm on so many lists. Anyway. But, so all of his opinions are pretty, it was a lot of retweeting or reposting, whatever you do on the Blueskis. A lot of reposting, people going, oh, Donald Trump's a threat to America. Normal stuff we see all of the left-wing politicians and pundits say. Repost it. He's racist. He's a pedophile rapist. Which jury is out. But though I have to say, I just can't imagine that the Biden DOJ, who had all the Epstein files the whole time, that if there was any hard evidence, any like solid evidence on Trump, there's no way they would have sat on that.
Unless it implicated their own party too.
I don't know. I mean, because, especially like they were, they try to have him arrested. They tried to, sue him into bankruptcy. They're inventing charges on the guy. And Biden, Joe Biden, now could have implicated Bill Clinton. Probably. Because Bill Clinton's big into going, Donald Trump's a good guy. I never saw him do anything. Of course not. He's a good guy. And Donald Trump's like, yep, Bill's great. So, Bill Clinton's a solid fella. Where did I ever show you that picture of that cookbook from a place called Justine's in Memphis?
Sounds familiar.
So it's a nice restaurant, and they put out a cookbook, and so they had all like prominent people to go there. So there's a picture of the owner and the owner's daughter, and Bill Clinton's in it. And there's two pictures. One, they're all posing, like, and the second one, the daughter's kind of looking like this, like she's getting goosed. And apparently, old Bill he didn't just pinch butts, he would pinch and twist.
Jesus.
That comes from some ladies in the Mid-South who were subjected to a little pinch. They didn't say it ruined their lives or anything. But they're just like, because 80s and stuff, 70s, men behaving badly, a little pat on the butt, a little whatever, cocktail party type thing. Guys could get handsy, but I guess Bill would leave you with a little butt bruise. So there's some breaking news for you. Breaking news out of Memphis. That's why you tune in, people. What the hell? Oh, but no, I just think that if there's some good smoking gun in there, they would have put it out. Like, especially the Biden DOJ, because you had the Obama term, and then Trump came in and was like, a lot of people can stay, and that's the deep state that kind of looked to undermine them, which Barry apparently was there, and to sound less conspiratorial, because I remember one time Salty Jimmy, when it was fresh, he didn't like the term deep state, and I said, okay, how about the deeply ingrained bureaucrats appointed by the opposing party that have political agendas against the new person, because normally they would be replaced, and this time they were not. I was like, okay, fine. And on top of that, when they did do some Epstein dumps, and they go, Trump was mentioned 128 times, whatever the number is, I don't remember. But and you look at all the mentions, and it was, it's Epstein going like, I hate Donald Trump. Donald Trump's such a joke. What a clown Donald Trump is. He is a jerk. And you go, this is not the type of mentions. Gabriel Iglesias and Bert Kreischer are both mentioned in the Epstein files. It was an email advertising shows at a comedy place, but still, they're in there. They're in there. Anyway. So this guy, he did say, Trump's a pedophile. And I just realized I said the R word that I'm not supposed to be saying on these podcasts to keep us in the good graces of the Google gods. Whatever.
You did?
Yeah, before I got ranting on butt pinching and all the other stuff that, for whatever reason, is fine to talk about. Don't look at me that way, Charlie. All right. So the weird thing about this guy, I got stuck, is that he's not that. His politics weren't that crazy. His politics were pretty mainstream. The one thing that has gotten a bit mainstreamed, however, is the discussion of Trump this whole time. He's a danger to the republic. He's a danger to the country. He has to be stopped pretty much at any cost. They kind of fall short of saying that sometimes, but it's basically this guy has to be stopped. He's a danger to the country. He's a danger to the world, and he's a danger to the republic. And there are times where I do find that he could be. Do I say he's more of a danger than Barack Obama, Joe Biden, George W. Bush? I go, nah, I don't see that. He's normal danger to the world, as all of our presidents have been. I mean, I don't sound all black-pilled. They're all great. They're all great. But the rhetoric of how dangerous he is and he has to be stopped and all that kind of stuff, it does, at least with this fella, who's like this really smart guy. He's like an engineer and a teacher, big into computers. I'm guessing, maybe a little spectrum-y, maybe a little literal. And maybe he took too many things literally. That was more kind of political fluff language. No one meant he actually needs to be stopped by any means possible. They just mean don't let him get stuff approved in Congress, and then let's win in the midterms, and then win the next election. That's what they actually mean. But what they say is he's a horrible danger to society. Maybe they want an impeachment too. They'd live with that. Though I think that'd be if they impeach Donald Trump and you get 2 years of President J.D. Vance running for re-election with VP Marco Rubio. It's like, I don't know if that helps your odds, guys. I think that might hurt your odds.
Unless Afro Man runs.
Well, that is true. Afro Man did say he's thinking about running on the Libertarian ticket. I don't know how the Libertarian Party feels about it or not. I support it. And I will buy signs, and I will put them in my yard, and I will buy a hat, and I will get a bumper sticker, and I will buy lemon pound cake, and it will be wonderful. Who should his VP be?
You?
Me. That's exact. I never thought of it that way, but good call, Charlie. It should be me. It should be me, an Afro Man. It's the Ohio, Florida thing. He's small. He's Ohio, Florida. I basically know people from his town, kind of. It's a different small town, but it's regionally close. Anyway, yes, Afro Man. That would be great. Until he showed up exceedingly high to every debate, and then he's just like, "Hey," just starts singing a song. Afro Man, you did not answer anything. I'm like, well, here we are. All right, so let's show this one thing that popped up. Okay, so one of the big things about this attempt, beyond him just not being that extreme and being kind of a nerdy fella who just decided that Trump was such a danger, he needed to take a train across the country so he could bring his weapons. And so he loaded up some guns, tell your friends, and then he took a train just quietly across. He booked a hotel room and the same in the Hilton or whatever that this thing was going to be held at. And he just thought, like, all right, I might get caught. These are the different places I might get caught. But, like, bringing weapons into Hilton is probably one of those things because they know the president's going to be here, like, tomorrow. Ends up not a problem. He just walked right in. And so this is he took a selfie. And you can kind of see, I'll get it better on the screen there. He's got a nice knife.
Yeah.
He's got, can't really see it. Got a pistol, a couple mags. I think one of these slings is for a shotgun. Tie tucked into the belt. That's an aggressive move. I don't know how I feel about that. I know people do that sometime. I'm not a fan. I don't know.
Red ties. Interesting choice.
Yeah, red on black. That looks sharp. I mean, it looks sharp. But so this is what he looked like before he left his room to kill the president. And you go, yeah, that kind of looks on the nose. Like, someone's probably going to stop that guy before he gets there. Let's see. So that's one little thing where you go, that's an interesting failure. And here's so can I just zoom in? Oh, I can. So this is a shot that of security footage. This is literally the last line of defense before. I mean, there's people wandering around, but this is the security checkpoint. That looks like a shotgun in his hand.
Blatantly.
Yeah, it looks like a man carrying a shotgun.
Red tie on.
Red tie on. And, like, look, I don't like racial profiling, but I thought cops did it, right? This is a black kid with a shotgun, and they don't even see him. I thought they were supposed to be racially profiling people. They didn't even notice him.
Oh, because they're setting up another metal detector. Well, I guess that's the focus, right?
I think they're breaking it down.
Or breaking it down.
But dude standing by the case, just kind of. But yeah, and the crazy when you watch the footage too, like he just came, like it's paused there, but he came running through. It was a full sprint. He was fast. That kid could run. But you go like there was enough room that you could just get a full sprint on through the metal detector and just shing, like before any of these people noticed. Like, there's a cop. There's a cop. Is that 3 security people up against the wall there watching that? Yeah, 2 cops, 3 cops. That looks like Secret Service in a suit. They look like TSA agents.
There's like 9 bodies right there.
And no one noticed the guy with the shotgun sprinting down the hall towards them. And like, so he's got magazines over here. He's got like knives. He's got, like, I don't think, maybe he was stealthy. Maybe he was stealthy.
All of you are fired.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And so, so that's something. But then, excuse me. So he had a whole manifesto, right? And he kind of called himself the friendly neighborhood assassin and things like that. He was basically just, you know, Trump's such a threat. This administration is such a threat. And so he said, you know, people who are targets and aren't targets, you know, I'm not really trying to kill any security or Secret Service or cops. If they shoot at me or something or try and get in my way, I might have to, but it's not really what I want to. Press, not really trying to kill them. A lot of people in the crowd just not interested in killing them. President, sure. Vice President, yeah. Rubio, sure. I forget. He had a little list of people where he was like, yeah, we'll kill these people. But then, I guess he wrote this ahead of time, right? And he went to apparently scope out the joint. And so he wrote a postscript, a nice PS, onto his manifesto. And this is what it say. It said, P.S. Okay, now that all the sappy stuff is done, what the hell is the Secret Service doing? Sorry, I'm going to rant a bit here and drop the formal tone. Like, I expected security cameras at every bend, bugged hotel rooms, armed agents every 10 feet, metal detectors out the wazoo. What I got, who knows, maybe they're pranking me, is nothing. No damn security. Not in transport, not in the hotel, not in the event. Like, the one thing that I immediately noticed walking into the hotel is a sense of arrogance. I walk in with multiple weapons, and not a single person there considers the possibility that I could be a threat. The security at the event is all outside, focused on protesters and current arrivals, because apparently no one thought about what happens if someone checks in the day before. Like, this level of incompetence is insane, and I very sincerely hope it's corrected by the time this country gets actually competent leadership again. Like, if I was an Iranian agent instead of an American citizen, I could have brought a damn Ma Deuce in here and no one would have noticed shit. So he was just like, ends up, this is shockingly easy. There's no security here. What do you think about that, Charlie?
I mean, just judging from him sprinting through, he's not wrong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and you go, well, maybe it's exaggeration. What does this kid know about things? But let's check this hot mic moment that happened like right before. I think I got the wrong piece. I'm playing with my earbuds here. All right, got a little hot mic moment. Are we set up correctly on things? I hope. We'll find out. We forgot to do a sound check because we are just so good we don't have to practice because we're awesome. All right. Nope. I know how to do things.
I love that they have like 2 random chicks holding the front door open. Where's the guys? We're not even trying anymore. It's not even like, I just mean like they're not even like Secret Service people. It's like the girls who work here are holding the door. Even if it was the guys, it wouldn't even make it better. It's like she's fine. Just like they might as well put a doorstop in. Like, they put up a doorstop and a scarecrow. Don't fuck with this guy.
Yeah, so he's some sort of comedic Republican type person. I don't know who he is. But basically, he was doing stuff. I want to say he was probably doing stuff for Fox News, you know, like on the carpet, giving I don't know if he's a sassy gay Republican or what, but he was kind of doing that thing, the Joan Rivers deal for I imagine Fox News. But what are they talking about? Him and his buddy, his producer there, or whoever that guy is, it's crazy. He's like, just two chicks opening the door for everybody, just holding the doors open. These two chicks, they're not Secret Service. They just work at the hotel. He was like, might as well just put a doorstop and a scarecrow. Like, well, they're not even trying. And you go, okay, so that was before anything bad happened. That's a Fox News guy that's like, I've been to some things. Like, you would think there'd be some security. And there was a number of people that talked about how, you know, they're just like, yeah, come on through. Just come on through. Little metal detector maybe, but nothing. I mean, there was nothing. No. And this is the first White House Correspondents' Dinner that Trump's done because he was so pissy with the media last time. He's like, I'm not going to do that so y'all can just excoriate me, you know? So I think this time it was more stacked with media he liked, and they're going to do it that way.
Let's see the comment. The tuxedo jacket is grounds for domestic terrorism charge.
Listen, he's sparkling, he's fabulous. He's part of the glitter cabal, Charlie.
The glitter cabal. Oh! Glitter. They're so secretive about glitter. Nobody likes glitter. Nobody cares about your secret. I don't want it. I don't care. I hope you run out of glitter. Apparently, there's a back order on glitter. Like, yeah.
I just wanted to set Charlie off a little bit. You know you're going to keep looking into glitter. You know you are. All right. So when you look at this, because, all right, regardless of where the event is, it's the president, the vice president, the secretary of state, a lot of important people in the same room, you know, where they leave one guy behind, you know, the designated survivor. So it's that kind of event. Security is in the hands of Secret Service. It's their job to plan this. And they're supposed to work with, you know, the local cops, the in-house security, assign them duties along the way, you know, utilize them, but you're in charge, you know? And it's not great. You know, Trump came out, he's like, I just thank the brave Secret Service and did I say Social Security last time when I meant to say Secret Service? Okay. I don't know why in my head I had it. He was like, oh, brave Secret Service. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Which he did after Butler when, like, that one chick couldn't find her gun, couldn't get her gun holstered and was looking in the wrong way. And you go, like, and they let somebody get right there and take a shot and hit you in the ear, which is pretty close to your head, you know, or to the important parts of your head. So, didn't do a good job. So you get another one here. Didn't do a good job. Even the one in Palm Beach, you go, okay. I mean, he came in all off the highway through bushes, and they spotted like the gun poking out. And I guess, you know, that's a complicated golf course, has lots of open spaces, you know, it's kind of the point. So I get that one's complicated. And they did get the guy before he took a shot. But still, I don't know. Could have, I don't know what you do in that. Like, you don't put, like, sensors or something. I don't know. I don't know how you do these things. Because I'm not in the Secret Service. But you know who is? The Secret Service. So it just makes you wonder, like, why? Are they just incompetent? Are they trying to get the guy killed? Are they what's going on with the Secret Service? What are your thoughts?
Or like the guy said in his little manifesto, said the sense of arrogance. You know, maybe that, you know, shit rolls downhill. You know, like that arrogance of coming from President Trump and emulating down through the various people he comes in contact with. Maybe that's just how they are right now.
And I hear what you're saying.
Even though they are trained outside of that, but...
Yeah, and their job is to go... Like, part of their job is they have to go, like, look, man, I know you want to give this speech, but there's this grassy knoll we can't stop. There's this book deposit. You know, they're supposed to, like, assess the situation and go... there's too many holes. We can't protect you. And then, the president has the ability to go, I'm going to just roll the dice on this one, boys. But this isn't that. This is a hotel. This is very doable. I mean, think about getting into a football game. This seemed to have less security than a football game. You know?
Yeah, I mean, or maybe he just puts up such a stink. Maybe he threatens to sue them.
I bet you his rallies had more security than this.
I would hope so.
Right. And so you go, like, what? Like, I guess you could blame Trump. It just feels like it's bigger than that. And it's not. What do you got?
Well, if we're paying for this, yeah. Why isn't the security awesome? I want my money back.
Right. Well, right. That's the thing. Secret Service works for the country for the job of protecting the president so no one can shoot him. And that's the other thing. That, you go, they were very quick to respond. I watched some of these videos. They were quick to respond to J.D. Vance because they ran out and they literally, like, it looked like they grabbed him by the belt. Still, and that's when you hear about the people that use, like, Gavin DeBecker and these sorts of security groups. And these are private individuals paying the money. Private security is very good, of course, with Gavin DeBecker. But it's one of those things where if all of a sudden, you got your group, if all of a sudden there is a threat and they need you to move, they come over and they essentially pick you up and, like, you're going to walk. Like, you're going to move. So just move the direction that they're basically forcing you to go, And so they basically did that with J.D. Vance, who's sitting there all of a sudden just like, shoot, and they dragged him off. As they're dragging him off, Trump's still sitting upright. And, maybe they were saying get down or whatever, but, like, they already got J.D. off the stage. And then finally people come running up. Some dude, stands in front and everything. But you go, like I don't know. Like, it took a long time to get to Eagle there. It took a long time to get to POTUS, and, like, it should be faster. You should get to, I guess everyone has their assignment, like you have a body man and then you have all these other. So maybe J.D. Vance's body man was just, like, on it. And good for him for having a good body man.
He doesn't play.
Yeah. But maybe we should get a good one for the president of the United States. Like, I don't know. Maybe when there's someone shooting guns in the other room, it doesn't take an extra 10 seconds after the vice president's out of there before you even get coverage of the president. It's just a thought.
Unless it's all a sham.
In what way?
Theatrics. I don't know, justifying stupid things that don't matter.
Are you saying the shooters? What is it called? An actor. What do they call that? Where you? My brain's not clicking. Provocateur.
Oh.
Whatever the hell. Provocateur.
Oh, that's from the movie Tenet. That's what I'm trying to think of right now.
Agent Provocateur. There you go. So is the thought that the shooter's not really a shooter and Trump's in on it and they all know that's not a real threat?
Correct.
Let's see. I mean, that's the thing. He didn't die. And the one guy he did shoot right in the vest. And that guy survived. There are no deaths in this. I
mean, the best acting job Donald Trump's ever done was Home Alone 2. So,
good movie.
J.D. Vance is just a better actor, I guess.
He got dragged off there. Maybe they just didn't let his security detail know. He was sitting there just like dee 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 dee, and then shing. But now, like, and there is. You see why people start going down these roads, because so this kid's family was like, he started saying some extreme stuff. He started saying, like, basically he went a little nutty there at the end, and we go, you're getting a little worked up, kid. But it is just a third lone wolf assassin, attempted assassin. And it's odd. He's like and granted, he's a very smart fella, but well, I'll take the train so I can bring my weapons. I guess he didn't have a car. I don't know. Maybe
It's ridiculous, the lack of security in the train system.
I mean, just let us have our guns on the train. Like I want them on the airplane too. But I get that if someone accidentally goes a little boom boom through a wall, there we're all kind of dead. Train though, you could shoot a lot of holes in that thing before it's a problem. Let us shoot holes in the train, Charlie.
Nice conclusion.
Thank you. But yeah, no, you can see why people do start like looking at this going, fake. One, because we're used to getting lied to so much that it's hard to believe things, And like when you see these things pop up where they go, this is McVeigh. This is an FBI agent. Look, they look exactly alike. This is the Challenger people. These are FBI agents. Look, they look exactly alike. And you go like, like that's off-putting. You're like, what am I supposed to do with this information?
I need a little bell for those things. Just ding.
And so like, and so, you see those things, you go, I don't know, could be anything. Because when you learn about MK Ultra, where we were using hallucinogens to manipulate the way people's brains work, and I was just telling you about before we were on air. I was talking to this dude from Colombia that was saying, if any fellas are going down there trolling for the ladies, to be careful because there's some bean, I forget what he said it was, not the good kind, like our Liberty Legume over here. But basically has similar properties as the angel's trumpet. And they make some powder out of it, and they blow it in your face, or put it in your drink, or what have you. And I guess it makes you very susceptible to persuasion, and not all that noticeably intoxicated. And so these ladies will be like, let's go back to your hotel room. Guys say, oh boy. And then they wake up in the morning, don't really remember what happened, but their life savings, their crypto, everything's gone. Because they go, okay, log into this. Okay, transfer to here. Okay, log into this. And then they just leave. So if that is true, that a bunch of like hot Colombian hoes have a mind control powder that they use to like prey on America. And this was a dude like from Colombia who was not trying to disparage it. He was actually going, hey, okay, you do need to be a little careful. And most places you'll be fine. You'll probably be fine, but just you gotta be careful. So I don't know if fly honeys have a mind control bean. Surely we have a mind control bean, and like I don't know, just these young men. Like this guy had a promising future. He had degrees and like good degrees. He was working. He seemed like a very level head. Like even in his thing, like, well, I'm not gonna hurt these people. They didn't do anything wrong. And he was like, I feel so sick about this. Like I'm throwing up. Like he was feeling guilty about it before he did it. And you go, all right, well maybe just don't do it, But he did. And so I don't know. It's an odd. It is odd. It's very odd. It's very odd. I think that's what we can get to. But regardless of how odd it is, the Secret Service has actually been going downhill for a while. Actually, it looks like maybe decades. So we'll just do a blast from the past here. This is from 2012. U.S. Secret Service Cartagena scandal involved 20 women. U.S. Secret Service prostitution scandal involved as many as 20 women, 11 American agents, and some military personnel. Cartagena. So basically the advanced team, dog handlers. What does it say? Who are these women? Could they have been members of groups hostile? Speaking of it, all right, whatever. It doesn't matter. Basically, what the story is they sent an advanced team down ahead of this thing called the whatever, for the Summit of the Americas. And so, you're going to have people going down. And what you do, if you're the Secret Service, is you scout the location. You go out there, scout it in advance, know what you need to know, no surprises, come up with a plan. Apparently Secret Service, what they did is they went down, they scouted some, and then they go, let's get some hookers. And a little bit of blow. And so what they did is they had a good old Colombian hooker blow party. I guess they had 20 of them. There was only 11 agents and some military personnel. Okay. Well, maybe. So if there's 9, it was 1-to-1. But I don't know. So this is 2012. This is Barack Obama. This is like his people are about to go down there. And you go, all right, well, y'all do a good job. Pay attention to everything. Whatever you do, don't get honeypotted. And they go, come on in. Let's get hookers and blow. So this has been a problem. They got in trouble, but there kept being issues like this where you go, this is not the Secret Service from the movies where, everyone's like jumping in front of bullets. This is cops. These are just cops. I enforce the law. I'll tell them off duty. It's like, I'll take a little toot then, whatever. I'll take a little toot. Maybe one of Afro-Man's arresting officers who used to take the hookers they arrested into the woods for a little nice, I can bust you right now. Or we can go to that hotel over there. Whatever you want. President Afro-Man put it in videos. It has to be true. And he didn't lose in court. But I think that's actually how that idiot Dan Bongino, I think that's what got him started, because he was Secret Service. And he quit around this time or something.
Really?
I think he was Secret Service, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and he would talk about how things gotten worse, all this, things have gotten worse. I think Obama's done whatever that Obama did to make it worse. But basically the culture of the Secret Service, since at least 2012, has been sort of floundering and not exceptional. I don't know what you do about that. Because, cops are having a hard time recruiting, and in parts because it pays crap and all that. And you go, all right, well, no one's asking you to jump in front of a man and take a bullet as a cop. Granted, it doesn't happen often for Secret Service. A little more often over the last 2 years. But, most of these guys won't get shot. And I'm sure there's good job security with it. But it doesn't seem like people take it very seriously. Especially the past couple of years. I don't know what's up. Because that's the thing. Even if this guy was a plant. Say this guy was manipulated by somebody to do an attack to see if it'll boost votes for the midterm. Even with that, just Butler, the general security practice. If the security is so bad, it's laughable to a TV personality, like a small time TV personality. You go like, it must be bad, and other people were talking about it. They're like, yeah, it's bad. Like nobody, they're just waving you through. There was no security out, because normally there's layers. First you gotta get through this layer, and then you get through this layer, and then you get through this. I guess there was just one layer. Just one layer. You go here, you come to, okay, good, see you. So, excuse me. I don't know. Anything else you want to add on the White House Correspondents' Dinner? No.
Well, other than the Graham came out real fast and was like, we need to build a ballroom because of all this.
Oh, yes.
And I'm just like, that's when I was just like, well, there's the smoking gun right there.
Everybody on the right came out, because I think maybe Trump said it in the press conference afterward. This is why we need the ballroom. And But yeah, everyone came out like just mass tweeting like, this is why we need the ballroom. This is why. Here's the thing though. If you secure that ballroom like you secured the Hilton, it won't matter. Like, it won't matter. Like, granted, there's more people at the White House full time, but there could have been more people at the Hilton. There could have been. I mean, POTUS was there. FLOTUS was there. JD Vance was there. Like, everybody was there. You could minimize the White House crew a little bit, you know, maybe not as many snipers. Keep a crew around in case somebody gets wise and wants to try something. But the good news is, if someone gets in, which would still be pretty tough if someone got in, at least the White House is empty of the important people. You know, you got your designated survivor. It'd be very embarrassing if the only one to die was the designated survivor. That would be very embarrassing. But yeah, the mass tweeting about the damn ballroom. And I guess what people are saying now is, although Trump has gotten all these donations, not bribes, to build the ballroom, you know, it's the bunker system beneath it that we're paying the big bucks for. I don't know. Just... Sorry, had a yawn. Here's the thing. In reality, okay. Let's remove the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Okay. And the cost, of course, is a consideration. I do think that the federal government... even with a smaller responsibility for the federal government, that the president should have an event space. It does make sense for an event space to be at the White House, right? You host dignitaries. Sometimes you might host the stupid damn UN or whatever. You host, you know, foreign countries are going to bring diplomats and their president and their entourages and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, they don't really have that space at the White House. And it's, you know, it's been fine. It is fine. And I'd prefer that we don't... It sucks having to spend it, but you spend the money renting out these places for X number of days to set up, X number of days to do advanced screening, security stuff that you're supposed to be doing, Secret Service. And the extra, you know, extra cops, extra this. Like, you do pay money for these venues outside the venue costs, and the venues do have venue costs, and they probably stick you with their venue caterer as everyone else does, and so now you got the food costs that's above and beyond. So arguably, I think that a ballroom would pay for itself in time, and it's like a city with a convention center, you know, or without a convention center. St. Pete for the longest time currently has no real convention center. Tampa has a convention center. St. Pete doesn't. We have hotels that have convention style rooms, and we got a few of them, 2 of them maybe. And the thing is, when those are booked up and someone goes, hey, we want to bring the architect conference to town, you gotta go, no room at the inn, you know, sorry, go to Orlando or Tampa or Miami or, you know, anywhere that's not us. Don't bring that business to town. And so in the similar thing, you go, we need to build, like, I see why we might need a convention center. The president, they host people, and it's part of the job. You know, the part of the job is schmoozing with the other countries, and maybe different industries. You know, we're going to have big tech night, you know, bring your wallets. We're going to have the auto industry, and we're going to have whatever. You know, these are things that occur. And we only got like a little room. So on the way, it sucks because I do think a ballroom's a good idea. That being said, the fact that every Republican, everybody was like, this is why we need a ballroom. It's like, first of all, you're just getting marching orders. You're just being told what to say, and you're saying the things you're being ordered to say, or maybe you're drinking the Kool-Aid so much they don't even have to order you. You go, that's going to be good. I'm going to say the thing Trump said. Either way, it's gross. And if you recall, it's one of the things that all you people talk smack about when Biden was president, how people regurgitated the same lines at the same time. And no one was thinking it's all this hive mind nonsense. So, I don't know. Congratulations. You're the Democrats now.
Well said.
There you go. What's the thing? No one ever like gets more liberty-minded, you know? Thomas Massey has stayed consistent, which is good. Rand Paul's been good. Justin Mosh was good when he was in there, but he left. He should never have left. He should have just stayed in and stayed as a libertarian because he changed his party over, but then he stepped down. That was the mistake. But anyway, but outside of them, most people, they run I'm a Republican and I love the Constitution and I'm a, shrink government. I'm going to drain the swamp and I'm going to cut regulation, cut taxes, and more freedom, more freedom. They get in there and they just go, yeah, whatever. That's fine. Just whatever. They just, big government, here we go. Like,
Psych.
the Democrats go, hey, we want to increase government's like size and spending by 1.5. The Republic goes, that's crazy. We should only increase it by 1 1/3. And they go, see, look how much we saved the country. They could have increased it by 1.5. We've only went up by 1 1/3. And that's it. Everyone's the Democrats. Congratulations. This dude, Bernie Jacques, it doesn't really matter. He's a Florida House. Florida House. Yeah, he's in the Florida House. He passed something in Florida so that even if you're a business of one, you got to do E-Verify. I don't even know how to do E-Verify. But it's like, oh, good. The Republican is pushing for exceedingly small business regulation. And of course, all the Republicans have to back it up. Think about lawn crews, Sometimes they might only have 4 employees. And what if 3 of them are illegal Mexicans? And you guys like, is that what's crushed? That's ruining our country right now? 3 Mexicans on a lawn crew?
If anything, they're the greatest thing ever in Florida.
I mean, they churn through it, man. They churn through it. And, but like that was the example people were giving was like lawn crews. It's like, look, if we've settled all of our issues, we've gotten rid of all the illegal alien murderers and drug runners and assaultists and whatever else, and maybe these people stole bought a social security number. Maybe they're getting paid cash because it's a yard crew, And if they are getting paid cash, then like that, other than being here illegally, there's not really a crime they've committed. It's like give them cash, they pay sales taxes.
Thank you.
Florida is funded 80+% by sales tax. So anyway, that was people. Yeah, that's why we got use E-Verify to get all them Mexican landscapers out of here. And what about people hiring Mexican maids? You go, all right. Like, I don't know. Like, this is even the most strict anti-immigration people, like the people with power, even though they go, I mean, we don't need to get rid of them. They do a pretty good job, Who are they hurting? Like, they're making the yard look nice, making the room look good. Like, I don't know. Let them stay. Yeah, exactly. Let's chill on this. Let's think of new ideas. All right. Let's see. How much time we're doing here? Oh, we're towards the end. So do we want to talk Iran? We could stick on Florida, and I can talk about... Yeah, let's stick with some Florida stuff. Okay? Basically, Iran still not budging a lot. Iran state media is like, hey, this is beginning to hurt. Like, they're having crazy inflation, at least in respect to the value to the dollar. So one interesting thing is, so they have state media. So I guess their presenter, what is it? Basically, am I the right one? One of their TV anchors look directly at the, well, whatever. Currency plunges. I might have the wrong thing pulled up. Either way, okay, so they got state-controlled media, and one of the talking head ladies, I think I said it was a lady, looked dead into the camera and asked a question of the president, who's kind of a titular figure, but was like, hey, you know, our money's, we don't have enough money to buy food because our money's devalued so much. Like, people can't buy the basics. And she said, what are we doing about it? And like kind of looking right at the camera, what are we doing about it? Which is not something the media people typically do in Iran, is go like, hey, I'm calling out the president by name. Why does everything suck so bad? What are we, or not why is it sucking so bad, but what are you doing about it? But yeah, their currency is devaluing rapidly, and people are having challenges with the staple. So I think this is kind of what Trump's doing right now, is he's just keeping the blockade on. So, you know, you can't, like, at some point you'll run out of storage for oil. You'll have to decide to stop pumping or blow up your tanks by overfilling them. And so, you know, your economy is crashing hard. So you know, he's just, it's a leverage thing. He's like, you know, once it got to this point, you know, at that point, it's just like, all right. And word on the streets is there, hey, we'll open up everything. And about, you know, we get to still enrich uranium? And Trump's like, nope, this is what's coming out of the Trump side of stuff. And he's like, nope, that ain't happening. And so he's like, we'll wait. I imagine there's other concessions that they're actually waiting for in this. And I guess the Ukraine has a good mine bot, like a water drone that goes around and identifies mines very well, due to what they've been going through. So we might end up buying a Ukrainian drone to go through the strait and identify where the mines are, just take them out and go, all right, now it's open. We'll see on that. All right, so real quick on Florida. This came from a conversation we were having on the Discords about DeSantis's plan. It's going to be a ballot initiative, so we all vote on it, for property taxes. And everybody hates property taxes, obviously. You know, everyone wants to see them gone, or at least, you know, libertarians do, and most Republicans claim to. And so the challenge is, in the state of Florida, is the state doesn't levy property taxes, the counties do. And the county is allowed to, according to the Constitution of our state and all that. And so DeSantis is like, well, let's make it so just your primary home, which there's already a bunch of homestead exemptions and things like that. So it already minimizes your taxes quite a bit. But he goes, all right, let's knock it down to zero. No property taxes on your primary residence. And most people go, that sounds real good. It does sound good. Except for the mechanism they're going to accomplish this is not eliminating the tax, because the state can't. Only the county can. So what they're going to do is they're going to rebate the amount to you. And maybe that means, I don't know what system they're going to do that, whether that's reimbursing you through some filing, or whether that's they're just getting the bill directly from the county. Whatever it is, essentially the state's paying the property tax bill. So property taxes will still exist, but the state pays for it. So everybody that comes to Disney and pays sales tax, every sales tax we buy, all those sorts of things will go to pay for everybody's primary residence property tax. And so you go, well, whatever. As long as I don't have to pay, I'm happy. Sure. But it's basically the same system that existed for a long time with income taxes, where you could write off your state income taxes on your federal tax return. And so what happened was, you know, say you're Texas, Florida, zero income tax. You go, I don't need to worry about it. The thing is, if you're New York, Florida, or New York, California, you didn't really have to worry about it all that much, you know, because you'd have, say they go, we're going to add 10% income tax in our state on top of federal. Well, you get to write that off, so you never pay it. Everybody else in the country splits it up for you. And so what does that do? What did that do? It allowed places like New York, California, and these places go, well, we can raise taxes pretty much as we want, because no one actually has to buy or has to pay them. They just write them off on the federal, and the rest of the country pays them. And, whether your tax rate is 3%, 5%, 10%, no matter what, we're kicking it up to Uncle Sam, and he's going to cut the check. That's the system for property taxes. And at first, it's going to be great. At first, everyone's going to get, save the money in the year. People are, this is wonderful. The county will still have the money it has, so it'll be flush. But then at some point, like here's a good example. The Rays won a new stadium. And in Pinellas, they were asking for $600 from the county, $600 million from the county, $600 million from the city, and that they chip in another $600. Over in Tampa now, it's like, I think, $700. So they're still asking for county and city money. So if you're Hillsborough County and you go, we really want to make this deal done, how do we do it? And you go, what if we were to raise property taxes by 5 points and put that towards the stadium? And be like, what? We don't want that. And you go, hey, don't worry. Only the evil businesses and the out-of-town property investors, that's who's going to pay. Developers, that's who's going to pay this. But, and if they put it for a vote, and they just go, and this will not affect current Florida law that allows you to not pay property taxes on your primary home. So you go, I like baseball. It doesn't affect me. I don't own a second property. Sure. Raise the property taxes up. So they end up getting it passed, probably 60-40. And as Hillsborough goes up, property taxes are up. And it doesn't affect anybody in their primary residence. Or maybe somebody owns a small business. And they own the property. They don't rent. They I don't know what they do. They make shoes, Charlie. They're a cobbler. And they have a small cobbler shop. And now they go, oh, no, like 5 basis points is actually a huge increase to my property taxes, which I get no exemptions on. It's not my primary residence. And now it's gone up by a good bit. So now they go, I'm going to have to sell. Eventually, I got to sell, or I got to increase the prices on the shoes first, try and cover this. Maybe people will pay those increases. Maybe we won't, but that's an increase. That's an inflation, it's increasing prices. And, but eventually what you end up doing is you treat property taxes like they're this kind of infinite thing that the state will pay for anyway, and there's no real limit to it. But it crashes the value of property, for one. It prices people out of being able to afford to keep their property, like if they're local. And then all of a sudden, it just makes it easier for out-of-town developers, out-of-town investors, out-of-town corporations to come in and buy more. They go, we actually are the big corporation, and we actually can afford it. So why don't we come in? We're not going to pay you what we would have paid you a couple years ago because these taxes are so high these days. But we'll take it off your hands and give you a nice chunk of cash, and that way you don't have to worry about it. And then we'll bring in a cheesecake factory. And so you bring in a cheesecake factory and I don't know any other PacSun. I don't know stores. I don't know any of these things. But basically you rent it out to other commercial corporations as your things, and so you slowly eliminate local charm, and you just consolidate the purchasing power with the company. So I guess what I'm saying is this thing will probably pass, and it will be good for a certain number of years. But even the Republican counties, which in Florida is a lot, even the Republican ones are going to go, we can get a point here, we get a point there, and no, who's going to complain? Who's going to complain? And it's going to happen, and it's going to gradually get worse and worse and worse. The only way to do this the right way is to do a constitutional amendment in Florida to make it illegal to charge property taxes. That's what you do. No property taxes. Sales tax pays for most things. You need stuff at a county level. Figure it out. Get rid of the waste for one. But were there a penny for Pinellas already? If you eliminated property taxes and you made it 2 pennies or whatever, let's just let's just stop all this BS because it's gonna be a convoluted system. It's gonna bite us all in the butt. It's gonna be horrible for anybody that you go. I'm trying to make a business out of being a landlord, right? That's not an immoral business. You go. I'm a realtor, and I'm going to buy a house, and I'm going to rent it to a family. And they can't afford to buy a house; they can afford rent. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is going to drive up those rent prices, make housing more unaffordable in Florida, and it's going to just eliminate the little guy. This is going to be a cloak, a shadowy way that's going to screw over the little guy in favor of big business. That is my rant.
Nice.
Okay. Where are we at? Is that it? Yeah, that'll be it. We've got a libertarian happy hour to go to. All right. So make sure you follow us on the YouTubes and the Rumbles and the Spotifys and all the other things. There's Apples. There's Googles. There's all sorts of things. Just plug it in your ear, shove it up your butt, and listen to Loaded Talk. What do you got for the people?
The Grok fact of the day. Here's a good and mind-blowing fact for today, April 30th. On this exact day in 1897, British physicist J.J. Thomson announced the discovery of the electron, a subatomic particle over 1,800 times smaller than a proton.
Fake news. Not real. Not going to happen. Done. This is a liberal conspiracy.